Good afternoon. I just want to open, I know that there was an incident that occurred last week involving one of our players, Carson Lee, that's under investigation. I know our campus and our department has already sent out a statement in regards to the incident. He is still on our team. Obviously, his situation is pending, given how this investigation is going to go. And really not much other than that to comment about that situation. But, you know, he's obviously dealing with legal matters, and we're going to have to let the situation kind of resolve itself in going through the process. So there's really nothing that we're going to do about it right now. He will not be playing or being in the fashion to play right now until this investigation gets more clarity as to where we're going with the decision. So, but he is still on our team. His situation is pending, and we're just going to work through the process and go with the facts of the matter that get resolved whenever that time frame is. In regards to practice today, we had a good practice. We had good practices last week. Went through really an emphasis of trying to clear up a lot of detail, a lot of issues that have been plaguing us on all of our football. We felt like we've made some ground in a lot of ways, and they had good energy today with great focus about attacking this week. Got Arizona this week, and they're obviously they're a team that's looking for a win themselves, so we have to get our football ready to play and have a good stretch of games here starting this week going against Arizona. So I'd like to open up. If you guys, I'm sure, have some questions.
Just, Carl, as you were able to get the team back today, how good do you think it was for everybody, players, coaches, to kind of step away, players get to go home for a couple of days and maybe recharge the batteries a little bit?
I think it was good for our players to get a little bit of a break. You know, we had a good week leading into some good workouts and some good practices. The coaches went out recruiting late in the week. So it was a good change of pace for everybody involved, I believe. So I thought that they did a great job with accomplishing the goals and the tasks that we set before them to get accomplished last week. And I think it was a good break for everybody, you know, just to have a little bit of a breather, step back, and be ready to go this week. And today's practice was really evident of renewed energy and excitement about what's lying in front of us right now.
You had mentioned you were going to do kind of a thorough evaluation during the bye week. Did anything come of that? Are there any changes as a result of that evaluation?
Well, hopefully the changes we made are going to help us play more efficient and effective football. So we addressed a lot of things, coaches' roles in terms of what the expectations are, the expectations we set for our players, and both sides of the coaching side of it and the player side of it. They've owned up that we can be better, and so far so good with that mindset of addressing the issues that are in front of us. And so we are moving forward, you know, with the subtle changes that we did make.
You mentioned it before. I think a couple weeks ago you said Brendan really had a good week of practice and then it didn't translate into the games. I mean, I don't know. You might have to look into a crystal ball or something for this, but how do you get that practice to transfer over to Saturday? Is there anything differently you've done to try to help that process?
Just the attention to the detail of what we're trying to make sure it transfers from practice to the game. That's the only way I know, you know, and that's in both levels of football, is to play better in practice, and it usually translates to playing better on game day. And, you know, he did make some steps of improvement from even in the game that we lost against USC, but, you know, we need to play better there. We need to play better in our protection and our run systems, blocking on the perimeter, you know, picking up blitzes with our running backs. So there's a number of things that we really addressed over the bye week that I felt we made some progress with. But in answering your question, those things usually will translate as the confidence grows within the offense and the defense. The thing defensively is that we got guys that are playing fairly well, but we're not really finishing plays, and that's really on both sides of the ball, on offense and defense. And so we attacked those things, and we had some good competitive practices, and we think we've made some progress with their attention to those details. And we do believe it's going to help us play a better product on Saturdays.
Wanted to ask you about a couple of your offensive tackles. With Max Ray, has he been able to work his way back into the mix yet? And then with Frank coming back from the shoulder surgery, where do you kind of see his progress in terms of kind of working that rust off of himself?
He is working, Frank, and talking with Frank first, he is working the rust off and getting, some really good quality reps, with the competitive stuff we've done against each other on the defensive side. You can see even today, it was evident that he's looking better than what he's looked in the previous week. So the progress is being made there with Frank. Frank's just catching up with reps and getting himself, in football shape, in football condition, and a football mindset of being competitive, in these practice sessions. And you can see there's some better detail on what you're seeing from Frank right now, even as recently as today. Max is, he's just got out of the concussion protocol, so he's not cleared for full contact yet. I think that will be up tomorrow, actually. But he did practice on a limited basis today, and we're hoping to bring him along in a full contact capacity coming into Tuesday and Wednesday's practices.
When you look at some of the changes, is there any change in, like, as far as who's calling plays, anything like that, or is that still Darren?
There's no change in terms of the dynamics of what we're doing offensively or defensively in their roles from a play calling standpoint. It's just the detail of how we're prepping our guys. We've done some adjustments that way with giving more responsibility to other people on the staff from a preparation standpoint. But in terms of the play calling and stuff, is still going to remain the same.
Carl, what do you see from Arizona in their offense and from their defense? Just kind of give us a rundown what we'll be seeing Saturday.
I feel that you're going to feel, this team is getting better themselves, from the start of their season to where they are right now. In a lot of ways, they mirror a lot of the issues that we've dealt with having a lot of new players playing, and guys, they've had some quarterback rotation. So there's been some, just trying to fact find on their own from an offensive standpoint. I think defensively, their system on defense is a pretty extensive system. They do a great job of creating a lot of different looks from a defensive front standpoint. They do a lot of blitzing and linebacker pressures in a lot of different ways, which makes it challenging for any offense. And right now, I think they're playing pretty well. They're in games and being competitive, and so they just haven't been able to close out games themselves. So, it's this is a team that's getting better, and they're playing hard. They're doing everything that, as a coach in his first year would want his team to do, is they're playing hard and trying to do the things that they're teaching in their system. So it's going to be another big challenge for all of us, because it's, and particularly for us, because we're almost, in a similar situation. We're challenging ourselves to play better football and to execute better and to be more efficient and things like that, and they're trying to do the same thing.
All right, Troy, on the Zoom, are there any questions?
Sorry about that. I haven't gotten any responses from anybody yet. Does anybody on the Zoom have any questions for Coach? Okay, I'm not seeing any, Curtis.
All right, anything else from the room? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.